really sorry I have to leave now, but I just wanted to say that I think this meeting's been incredibly helpful. It's been a fantastic meeting, so thank you so much. And just to say that I'm committed to doing everything that I can to support your campaign. So I will be writing to the head, I will be writing to the chair of governors, I will be writing to all of the other governors, and indeed to the chair of the other governors of the other schools. And if there's something else I do, you know where to find me. So thank you very much.
Thank you. My son's at London School. I want to ask about, within experience in the anti-academy campaigns, what can the pupils do? Because I've been giving him leaflets to take him to school. He's been sneakily leaving them places. But he's got into trouble. They've been told they can't talk about it to teachers. Teachers aren't allowed to speak to them about it. And when I asked William Dean, the headmaster at the Leeds meeting, why the teachers weren't allowed to talk about it, he said something about, I can't remember, something about that he didn't want them to influence them one way or the other, and that's why they weren't allowed to talk about it. And the whole other thing was speaking to somebody who knows a teacher in another academy school, the whole kind of secrecy things that teachers aren't allowed, being told that they can't come to the meeting or all that sort of stuff. But I did wonder if there was anything the pupils could do that, because at the moment they're not really being allowed to, well, I don't know, you can maybe answer, but I don't think it's difficult for them, I think, to actually do much. I've been in good examples of places where they've done something successful.
Can I just say there is a school council and there are, you back me up here, Gaza, I believe.
Yes, there is a student cabinet, but they've been thinking about talking about academy. They can ask to raise it and put it on one of their meetings, but they want to be talking about it.
I'm just wondering if, as parents, if we can actually write to William Dean and say we're unhappy that the children can't talk about something that has a real implication for them, and we want to be able for our children to have the freedom to discuss the implications. I think we should all do that in this room.
It's absolutely outrageous, but it doesn't surprise me. And perhaps I want to stray into the realm of epidemiology for a moment, because one of the sort of common illnesses that I've noticed and picked up on head teachers in schools at the place to become academies is called academyitis. We're otherwise very reasonable head teachers who work with trade unions, who believe in free speech and democracy, who suddenly become paranoid, unprepared to accept any free and open debate in their schools, suddenly start attacking our trade union reps and attempting to intimidate them. And unfortunately, this happens very, very widely. I mean, in a range of schools, staff have been told they can't talk about it, they can't email other staff, they shouldn't mention it in staff meetings. It happens so much. And it says to me that actually those people behind academies are very, very vulnerable. And they don't stand up, and they don't want to stand up to criticism and debate because they're worried what that will mean. And I think somebody asked, I can't remember what they were, is it too late? Is it a fait accompli? Can we win this? Well, yes, we can win it, and we must win it, actually, in Brighton. We must win it. Because actually, this school is so, so important to what happens in the rest of Brighton, and as well as being regional officer in UT, I too am a parent of a child in a primary in Brighton who is partially sighted and therefore has special educational needs in that regard. And I'm very, very worried. At the moment, when I've had problems with the way the school has served my daughter in the past, if it's not been dealt with by the head or the chair of government, I've been able to go to my local councillor who's dealt with it. I won't be able to do that anymore. So yes, we can win it, but the only way we will win it is if parents and staff working together. Okay? Now it's really important that parents are on board. It's only when parents have been on board that we have defeated academies. Somebody asked a question about will teachers be prepared to strike? I can't say now whether that's the case. But certainly the first thing we'll do, this is all unions, Unison, our other sister unions in teaching, we will conduct a secret ballot of staff to ascertain their views on academies. I don't think I'll be surprised by the result. Okay? And we will, if the groundswell continues and staff are opposed to the academy, we will discuss and suggest the idea of industrial action if we think that it can prevent the academy coming about. And we'll not hesitate.
absolutely brilliant in terms of the expression of anger and against this move and this attack on our education system. But I think, as so many people have reiterated tonight, this has got to be the beginning, not some kind of high point of the campaign. This has got to be the start of the next stage of the campaign. And that it's quite clear from the way the governing body and the head have treated this, the way in which they talk down to us whenever they try to raise it at the parents' meetings and so on, that they will not listen to reasoned argument from us. But however important it is, and I agree absolutely with the importance of sending emails and so on, let's make no mistake, those alone are not going to change their minds and not going to stop the academy going through. The key thing I want to stress now is really the first point of action is the governance meeting on the 29th of this month. You know, I think we should turn what we were considering as a lobby of that governance meeting into a bigger demonstration as we can possibly all get to make absolutely vital that we extend that to all groups who are interested in this question, and by that, of course, I mean inviting all staff to attend that demonstration in both an official and non-official capacity, if you like, from trade unions as well as individuals. But also, and I absolutely passionately believe this, the students themselves, because how dare they stop our children discussing their futures? How dare they try and everyone in the room, obviously, to take part in that demonstration, but also urge you, if you've got children at the school, if you know students at the school, to urge them to join in as well. You know, we have to build this movement going forward. We have to work with everyone concerned, particularly with the trade unions, because I think it's right in the future. You know, their pivotal role in helping us with the fight and in fact leading the fight against academy status. And you know, yes, we can win this. Yes, we must win this. And yes, we must defend education rightly.
Bring in Alistair last, and then please don't rush off because we've got a couple of really important announcements. Thank you.
Listen, first on what children can do. One of the articles in the UN Charter gives children the right to have a say in the way in which their education is conducted. So they have a basic human right. No head teacher can deny that. And it's also part of the citizenship curriculum. One of the processes of the citizenship curriculum is about active citizenship, and you're supposed to get involved in local debates. So any school, any head teacher who's telling you you're not allowed to discuss this is breaching your educational and human rights, and we should, the idea to write to the head teachers, absolutely spot on, so we should nail them. What have kids done in other schools? Well, I tell you, I don't want to go over the top, but there's been pupil walkouts. I had one story from a school in Liverpool where they came into the assembly, the head teacher was doing the assembly, and one of the students had got up and said, almost like Oliver, you know, please sir, got up, please miss, and said, I want to discuss the academy. And she blew a whistle and everybody then walked out of the assembly. So, in Barrow-in-Furness, hardly a hotbed of radicalism. Similarly, I think it was 700-800 children walked out and had a day's strike in Barrow-in-Furness against academies. So, children have taken direct action, and that's for you and your parents to discuss about what to do with it, but it must be discussed in the school. What can the staff do? I want to tell you a little story, because if you listen to Michael Gove, he says that the academy thinks popular. It's about giving power to parents and to staff. It's about freedom stuff. Right, okay. Well, I was in a school in West London where the head teacher, to his credit, wanted a proper debate. So he shut the school for the afternoon. He invited in Bill Watkin from the Specialist Schools and Academies Trust. He's a big wig. So he did 15 minutes for academies, and I did 15 minutes against. Then the head teacher conducted a ballot, secret ballot. He gave out 148 ballot papers, 142 ballot papers were returned, 4 ballot papers were in favour of Academy, 138 were against. That's democracy, that's how popular this policy is, and that's why they try and secret it away. It's a scam. The school, the governors then voted to reject Academy status because the moral force of the staff vote, the moral force meant that they wouldn't be credible, and what they knew that if they went ahead, they would face strike action, they would face complete lack of credibility. And that's the sort of political pressure that we need to be applying. Just someone mentioned the SEN. What's astonishing, there's a whole range of other reforms going on in the education system, the EBAC, SEN reforms. All of these reforms are about returning to the old grammar secondary modern divide. It's about a segregated, socially segregated education system. In the SEN consultation, the word equality does not appear. They are not interested. This government is not interested in equality in education. Yeah, that's right. Look, their whole agenda is about segregation. They want to segregate, they want social segregation. It's the old grammar secondary modern divide. That's what the Tories really believe in. Okay, I'm rushing for time. Is it over? Is it too late? Well, look, I'll tell you that the simple facts of the matter is the governors can make the decision on the 29th, and then you have a period of what can be anything between 3 to 6 weeks before the Secretary of State signs the Academy Order and the new trust is created and they agree the funding agreement. Although there's a terrible bottleneck in the DFE because they can't process them quickly enough because it's quite a technical legal business. So even if the governors make the decision on the 29th to go ahead with the Academy States, I'm saying it's not over. We've actually had a spate of meetings. I mean, you're not alone having meetings. I've been doing meetings all over the country, but in London, we are calling, I know local campaigns, where governors have decided to go ahead with it. The parents have said, we're not having that, because the governors, I mean, for example, one school, the parents turned up with 206 signatures on this was a small primary school, 206 parents signed a petition, just asking for an extension of the consultation. The governors said no. So those parents are saying, we're not having that, and they're going down to those offices in central London, I think it will be on the 7th of July to protest. So the notion of protesting, we have to do it. Even if you lose Barndy, you then got to stop all the other schools. This, so many people have reiterated, this is a movement. Their plan is to privatise state education. We might lose some on the way, and I spoke at Port Slade and I spoke at Falmer and there were much smaller meetings, and how glad I am, and I've been involved in the Anti-Academies Alliance because we are beginning to grow and we're getting our awareness. So even though we were defeated, we're becoming bigger and stronger with time. So we need to keep campaigning. I just want to end and pick out one remark which I think is absolutely crucial to us. Someone mentioned the 30th of June. Now, I disagree with one thing he said, that it's a different issue. Actually, cuts and privatisation are the two sides of the same coin. These are the same thing. It's exactly about, look, I read this week that there are 1,000 jobs going every week in education. 1,000 jobs going every week. If you think what this is about, they want to privatise our schools because then academies can cut costs. They are making mass redundancies in some academies. They can cut paying conditions. They can cut your costs. That is what this is about. Cuts and privatisation, two sides of exactly the same coin. That's why the 30th of June is absolutely important. I know you've got your lobby on the 29th, but on the 30th, the Anti-Academies Alliance is leafleting all the regional demonstrations that will be happening, because there'll be thousands of teachers, thousands of people out there, and that's who we need to educate. So connecting the two things in your mind and doing as much as possible is absolutely crucial. Just one last thing. I like the idea if the council can organise a referendum, but the other thing that the council can do is get out there and promote a positive vision for education. The truth of the matter about education, and I'm quoting McKinsey, the management consultant, but it's a dead good report. In 2007 they said this: the quality of an education system cannot exceed the quality of its teachers. If we want better schools, we have to trust our teachers, we have to give our teachers the resources, and we have to support them. The whole stakeholder model has to support them. This is a divisive model for our schools. It's breaking up communities left, right and centre. It's pitching head teachers and governors against parents and staff. It's a disaster. We can fight it, and you have done an amazing job so far. So keep going, keep fighting. There's an education system to win.